All right, to the news now. President Trump says U.S. forces have seized an Iranian-flagged cargo ship for allegedly attempting to breach their naval blockade. This coming just 2 days before the ceasefire is set to expire. NBC's Bofta Yamam has the latest.
President Donald Trump says the U.S. Navy fired on, seized, and then boarded an Iranian-flagged cargo ship. He says it attempted to evade the U.S. blockade in the Gulf of Oman. Trump announcing the U.S. has full custody of the ship and blew a hole in the engine room after giving it fair warning to stop.
You need to get Iran back to the place that they agreed to in 2015-16, that they would never seek to acquire or develop nuclear weapons. They agreed to that. Donald Trump tore that up.
Iran imposed its own restrictions and traffic remained at a near standstill Sunday. Iran allegedly opened fire on 2 Indian-flagged ships over the weekend.
So let me just ask you, is the U.S. Navy in charge of the Strait of Hormuz? Who specifically is in charge right now?
Well, but that's the point. The Strait of Hormuz is an international waterway. Unlike what the Iranians are trying to claim, they've even moved the goalposts and are now claiming that it's a waterway of theirs, which is an absolute violation of international law. Ultimately, it's the U.S. Navy and President Trump that decides what comes in and what comes out.
If Iran and the U.S. don't strike a deal, President Trump has threatened to wipe out civilian infrastructure.
Everything's on the table.
Amid the major escalation, U.S. negotiators plan to head to Pakistan on Monday, but it appears Iran hasn't agreed to show up. On Sunday, state news reporting that any confirmation of a second round of negotiations in Islamabad is not true. Meanwhile, a separate ceasefire agreement between Israel and Lebanon is still holding at this hour. In Washington, Bofta Yamam, NBC News.